Hey guys, welcome back to the Hemi Hustlers YouTube channel. On this episode, we are going to be unveiling the engine for Filiberto's 300R. The oil has the bag stuck. I'm taping all this stuff. Oh, why am I being gentle? I just get a new bag. Come on, man. I'm delaying the process here. This is bad. Oh, that's the problem here, the tape. Anyways, that took way too long. So, here it is. This is this is a different block. This is actually the block from that car. This block here, this is a 2006 Chrysler 300 SRT 8. But I think he said this block had been changed out too. So I don't know what engine this is from. But it's a 6.1. But can you spot something wrong here? I mean, look at this side, right? And then look at this side. And then look at JB Weld. And then look at the whole missing piece. Yeah. So, needless to say, the block was, like, the engine was still running. It's, you know, it was usable, but it's not reliable and durable. It now has ruined the structural rigidity, this whole corner here. And we're just not going to do that. We're professionals. If it was my personal car, I wouldn't have cared. But this is Juan's car. And, you know, he's a good friend of ours. And we're going to take care of him and do our best. Here we are. Wow, this one's beautiful. MOPAR timing set, CP Carrillo pistons. I'm not sure on the compression ratio. I have to go back to the build sheet and see. I think it's in the, I have to say like a 9.6 to 1 compression ratio, maybe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over the 378 cubic inch that we have in front of us. So, this is not a stroker, by the way. This is a drop-in piston rods crank deal. This is a drop-in rotating assembly. Slightly oversized pistons. So this went from a 6.1 liter to a 6.2 liter. It has a scat crank. It has scat rods. And you can see way down in there, CP Carrillo pistons. Carrillo. They're beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful setup. So just like Filiberto's, just like the Blacklin build, is a forged bottom end. The only difference is that Blacklin is a 426 cubic inch. This is a 378. So this is a 7.0 liter V8. This is a 6.2 liter V8. They were both originally a 6.1 liter V8s. Anyways, let's keep going. This is a 32 tooth reluctor wheel because this is the earlier Hemi models that used a different crankshaft positioning sensor. I'm just currently turning the rotating assembly, kind of confirming that the machinist did an excellent job. Currently, I'm making sure that the rods don't hit anywhere, nor do the counterweights hit anything. So the reason we even did an engine build on this is because one of the oil plug squirters was broken on the old setup. And the piston skirt slightly hit the oil plug squirter nipple deal, the little nipple squirter. It would hit it and it would bend it and eventually it broke it. Or it might have broken it instantaneously. The point is it was just enough for it to break one of the squirters. Which means we had a squirter just floating around in the oil. And I found that out by accident. Honestly, I was doing the oil change and I found that out. So we installed some oil squirter plugs. From here on out, on any build that I do that has the oil squirter plugs, we will be deleting the plugs, you know, just in case. And well, on a stroker, it's a must. There's no way you can get away with it on the stroker. But if it has drop-in pistons and rods, you may get away with it. But in this case, we well, whomever did this build before did not get away with it. And we also upgraded a lot of the stuff that it had prior to being worked on. The heads are at the machine shop. I actually have to go get those. So yeah, I'm confirming everything's legit. Everything's kind of cherry. Nothing really seems to be hitting. Nothing seems to be binding. Sounds pretty. Doesn't sound like it's scratching. It just sounds like the beautiful sound of the piston rings rubbing against the cylinder wall. Always want to make sure your reluctor wheel is okay. There's no teeth broken on it, because imagine the headache trying to diagnose that if there was like a tooth chipped off or slightly broken, causing some sort of a RPM signal damage or something. Yes, that would suck. Everything seems to be okay with the bottom end, which means I'm no longer gonna look through it. I'm gonna trust that everything is okay just by spinning it and visually inspecting it. This is something very interesting worth noting. See here, there's like that little bump right there. Bink. Now, there's kind of a little bump on this side as well. I guess this wouldn't be an issue unless the oil pump bolts onto it, which it does. See, the oil pump bolts onto here and here. Now, if this has a little ridge right there, a little bump in here as well, it's gonna sit clogged, meaning it's not gonna sit perfectly here. So what should have happened is, before the installation of the crank, when the block surface was getting milled and decked flat, the bottom should have been decked flat, and the face as well decked a skim pass, right? That way it's perfectly true everywhere. Here it is. The block is fully masked. Now I'm just gonna give it like 5 minutes in the sun along with the paint, just so it sticks a little bit better and the job looks a lot nicer. You know, paint does a lot better when it's warm opposed to when it's cold. It's just been in the garage in the shade. So I'm giving it about 5 minutes here in the sun, just to kind of get the metal a little warmed up. It's kind of cool to the touch. And then we're gonna give it the first coat of primer, or all the coats of primer. And then I have to go to O'Reilly's and get some paint. This is the first coat. You want to do something light like that all around. And follow the instructions. There's instructions on here. The directions, follow them. So we're going to do the primer, and then I'll give you guys an update. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The block is primered. One thing I kind of don't like is, like, for example, like right here, right? See all this flaky stuff? That should have all been removed at the machine shop when this gets baked, when the block gets baked in their little oven, and then when it gets blasted. I don't know if it didn't get baked long enough or blasted long enough, but there's still a lot of the old engine enamel left, which kind of makes it look kind of tacky, almost like the block has acne or something. I would know about acne. And it just kind of looks ugly. So I don't know if maybe I need to blast it myself prior to sending it to the machine shop, or maybe I just kind of let him know about it. Or maybe they have to replace, like, I don't know, maybe the acid in the bath and the acid hot tub is not strong enough anymore from being so diluted and dirty. Or maybe it needs to be in the little shot blaster a little longer. I don't know. I'll let the machinist know. He'll let me know what he thinks about it. But let's try this little. Oop, totally missed there. Yeah, it's gonna look sleek. here we are, the short block, or the block itself, fully painted. Just gonna put it under the light, see how it looks. Actually looks different on camera. In real life, it's a bit more blue. Here it looks kind of like darker navy-ish. So let's give this a rotisserie twist. Man, in person, it looks way better than on this camera. These aren't the ideal conditions of painting. It's like 60 degrees, 52% humidity. Not ideal for paint, but I don't want to wait. You know, I'm just trying to make some good progress on this build. So, and I got bored and I started to paint the back, even though I shouldn't have, just because it looks kind of tacky now. There it is, guys. Here it is. I'm not sure if this is the blue I was looking for. Not sure if it's even gonna match what we have going on in here. But it's the closest thing that O'Reilly's had, man. Like, this is like a light blue, and I guess this is like a light blue. Well, the next blue down from this blue that was available was like a navy, really dark blue, and well, that would have matched. Like it wasn't even this blue. It was way darker than that, so it wouldn't even have matched that. But I'm just like, at this point, it's whatever. Regardless, the block is something that sits so far deep in the engine bay, you can't even really see it. But here it is, guys. This is an old Ford blue. That's the color. Let me turn this like a rotisserie chicken. Chrysler. Yeah. Just let this paint kind of sit outside all day. It's probably gonna be here all day. That way the paint can really cure and stick on. Looks different on camera. I wish how it looked on camera is how it looked in real life. It's a much more, it's like a brighter blue. See, that's kind of the blue I wanted, like my wall. And that's kind of the, and this is what we ended up with. It's similar, it's similar. I'm not gonna get too hung up on it, because it's, you know what they always say, it's the inside that matters. What's going through this channel right here is what matters, and what's under here is that matters. The crank and the cam and the rotating assembly. So yeah, looks beautiful. I'm gonna leave her out here for a couple hours. I'll probably shift the block this way and then shift it this way so the sun can really get on all major sides of it, and just give it a real nice drying. Let that paint really lock in there. That paint really lock in. It looks beautiful. This is my first time doing this blue. Now I'm kind of wondering, should I do blue cylinder heads, kind of match the blue? Or should I do black cylinder heads with a blue intake manifold on top? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think I should do. Actually, ultimately, it's up to the owner what he wants to do.